magician. I turn 20s into hundreds, roll the casino with my eyes closed, watch the money keep it coming. That's right, keep it coming. Right. Don't tempt me coming with nonsense. Even though I made it, I'll still empty one of these objects. Buying houses, living rent-free, that's one of the concepts. Pulling up in Bentleys in front of the projects. Cocaine white, had crack under my cuticles. My car give me flashbacks of what I used to do. Richard Millie's a trophy, is on your checklist. Till you smarten up and realize that's an investment. I can't move it if the coke is bad. Bigger the Cuban that symbolize how much dope you had. It's for my niggas that did biz, but they came back up. Pulling up in Cullinans and Maybach trucks. And I'ma bet it all and bet it twice. That's just what happened when you live in the bettor's life.
Welcome back to episode 15 of A Bettor Life. I'm Dame, the gambling god. You already know my slogans. I'm the magician. I turn 20s into hundreds. And if you follow me, I'll show you how to rob a casino without a gun. And of course, I'm with my co-host, the genius, the financial guru.
Excited to be here today. You know me. Hey, he show you how to get the money, and I show you exactly what to do with it.
There it is. So today we have a very special guest. He's well-known, well-renowned in Vegas. He's a superstar in his own right. Vegas Pauly C.
That was actually a little too nice for me. But thank you very much.
So can you explain to people what you do, Pauly C?
I just walk around Vegas, and if I see things that are interesting, I'll record in a minute. You know, there's no pre-planning. Although sometimes I think I want to do something, like I really want to do the exchange that they're going to put up at Sahara. They're going to put a new pedestrian walkway there. It's going to be $40 million. So I'm going to go over there. That's a thought I had this morning. But I read like the Las Vegas Review-Journal and the Nevada Independent. And, you know, I just watch what's going on. And whatever interests me, I try and turn it into something that is, in a lot of ways, a critique of the industry or where I think something is going. The F1 was a really big one. When I first started doing the F1, I would put up a video. It would get 100,000 views in an hour, you know, when they first started stripping down the strip. And I realized that was going to be a really big event. And so I worked that for a long time. So I went around the strip, and I really worked it. I got like 8 videos out of that. Because when you're doing a video, you know, of the F1, and I remember one night I went down there, and there's a guy that I lived with for a little while. He's named the Man Behind the Man, and he's a genius. He lives in the Sky Tower. And he said to me, hey, Vegas Pauly C, at 12 o'clock on Thursday, they're going to start working on the strip again. They're going to start digging it. So I ran down by the Cosmo, and I got up there, and I got really high up as best as I can because I don't work with any equipment. And I focus on, you know, them ripping up the pavement, you know, and I'm all excited. And I got 5 million views on that. And I was like, wow, this was totally worth me coming down here, getting out here.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I was so happy about that. But I beat that to death because what happens is when I see something is working, I work it, and then it just, you know, the views went down. And then at the end when I was getting like 60,000 views, like, people were tired of looking at the pavement.
That's still a lot of views, though.
Yeah, it was okay. You know, very early on, Mahi, my little girlfriend, who I love so much, I can't not do this. I'm sorry. Her skin was designed by NASA. She can re-enter the atmosphere without burning up. I have to do that. Shout out to Mahi wherever you are.
I got to steal that line.
It becomes a compulsion. Very early on, she said to me, the algorithm loves you. And I looked at her, you know, because you got to understand something. I'm an older guy, you know, and I'm a nerd, and I'm the kind of guy who doesn't really talk to anybody. And I always tell the chat that I have 0 Riz game, which is really true.
I just learned what Riz was a few weeks ago.
No, you got the chain on. You got the chain and watch, and you got all the Riz there is.
The chain and the watch, I would have the Riz.
35.5 carats of diamonds. It's just absolutely spectacular. It's an automatic wine. It's verified. Here comes the chain. Yeah, show me that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't even know what's on my neck, but wow, it feels heavy. I'm living good over here. Thank you so much.
And so she said that in the beginning, and I was like, but why? You know, like why? And I started to do videos, and now I have about 30 videos that have 1 million views on it, which for me, and I don't have that big a following, you know, I'm not Keith Lee. He's got 15 million followers. I only have 300,000 followers on
Keith
TikTok.
Lee,
And I'm humbled by it, really. You know, I mean, I'm just, like I said, it's like finding out that you can hit the fastball when you're 60. Like, imagine if you found out you could hit the fastball, but you're 60 already.
Now you got a lot of views. I heard it. I didn't know who you was when we met the other day at the Raider game. I just saw this guy. I'm like, what is he doing? I saw the Wynn execs talk, asking are you good? I'm like, this guy got to be a huge gambler. Like,
well, that's the whole thing.
You know?
I'm also like, like a relatively large gambler. Like, I'm not on your level.
No, how did you start?
But I come in with like 30 or 40 grand, and I play $500 a hand. I enjoy it.
That's pretty good. How did you start gambling?
So I only found this out, and I was explaining it in the car on the way over here. So when I was about 54, 55, I decided to get into shape. I had been obese for 12 or 13 years. I weighed 230 pounds. And I got tired of, like, never getting a date, or, like, I was on eHarmony for 10 years and nobody answered me, not one person.
Wow.
And I was like, is this computer broken, or am I that awful? So, I always say the marketplace kind of tells you who you are. So I had to, like, kind of come to the conclusion that, yeah, I'm that awful. So I decided to really get into shape in January of 2011. And I was working out with this guy, and he was brilliant. He was a trainer, and he went to Columbia. And he started making, like, little comments to me. Like, oh, you're so low dopamine, you don't even lock your doors. Oh, you're so low dopamine, you can't even pay attention to what I'm telling you for 10 seconds. Oh, And I said to him, is he trying to tell me what's wrong with me? And that's what he was doing. He was telling me that what's wrong with me is I'm super low dopamine. And at the time, I had done my 23andMe, and I had gotten back my genetics.
Okay, right.
And I had taken my genetics. I had sent it to a company called Prometheus that tells you what's wrong with you. Like, it tells you what cancers you might get. It tells you, like, all of your proclivity. It tells you all this stuff. So I go back, and I'm like, I did see that in the report. And I go back in the report, and I find out that I have a genetic mutation called CCAATT. And I talk about it all the time on my live. And it says right on my live, I gamble for medical reasons. And I was saying on the way over here that, it's sad because there's kids out there who can't read, because they mix their letters up. Right. They were probably born with something where, like, they mix their letters up. You know what I mean? And these kids are going through so much pain. So I was in pain my whole life, and I just kind of was like, okay, I'm in pain. So now I'm going to have to do this addictive behavior. I'm going to have to do that addictive behavior. And I just kind of learned how to manage it. And gambling, because it doesn't kill you, like, you can't really become a crack addict. You're really not going to last. You can't really get into heroin. I mean, how long are you going to last with a needle in your arm? So for me, like, the best choice was to become a compulsive gambler. So I've been a compulsive gambler for a long time.
It's the same.
Right.
It's the same.
You might have the same thing. You don't know. You have to send your genetics.
It's crazy that you say that, because I'm what they call dyslexic. I read stuff backwards.
Right. But you were born that way.
Yeah, naturally.
And you probably, I bet the teachers yelled at you.
Yeah, when I read a book, I start from the back and go to the front.
So they probably yelled at him, but that's something, and I think, like, people should know this.
Yeah.
Because when I went, there was a help group on Yahoo for people with my condition. It was called Double Cat, CCAATT. And everybody in there was either wanted to kill themselves, or they were an alcoholic, or they were a crackhead, or they were a speed freak, or they were a heroin addict. And I was like, wow, if we're all doing this, it's got to be the CCAATT, right?
That's right.
And yet, nobody tells you. Like, when is the world going to wake up and go, see, forget about me, I'm old already. But think about all the 18 and 19-year-olds out there that are, like, in back alleyways, like, on the glass pipe. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Or like putting the needle in their arm. Or, like, picking up ice, down on the highway, down out into the desert, And I think if they knew, and this really comes from an empathetic place, I think if they knew that they were born this way, I think they would feel, am I wrong? I think they would feel better about themselves.
So should they just gamble?
Look for some sort of alternative instead of being, oh, I'm a messed up person, I hate myself. When I found out that I was born this way, so now I go to the craps table, I go play blackjack. You know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
I got to do it for medical reasons. You know what I'm saying? I got to get my medicine.
So what you're saying is they should just become gamblers.
That's the best choice.
Wow.
I think it's the healthiest choice.
I like that.
Are you a pretty good? What's your game of choice? If you had to pick.
Well, I like blackjack and craps a lot.
Okay, yeah, me too.
People always ask me, how much money have you won? How much money have you lost? I try and, come up with the number. The God's honest truth, I probably lost more money in the stock market than anything else because, doing that compulsively is a bad one. I probably lost about $4 million. I always made money. I had businesses, but, I've pretty much wasted my life.
It's crazy
for the
that you
most
say you compare it to the stock market because I
Yeah.
always compare sports betting or gambling to the stock market.
Yeah,
it's
well,
the same exact thing.
It's the same thing. I mean, if you can invest in something and get the return, then it's all the same thing. But, I know when I go to the craps table, and I've been losing a lot of money on craps on this trip. It's just been a couple of numbers and a 7, a couple of numbers. I know when I go to the craps table that I'm really just there for medical reasons. Like, I know I'm never going to. I've never had a
you're
good
making me
outcome.
look at it differently because last night I went to Durango just to cash in a parlay that I won.
Yeah.
And so I said, well, I got $3,000 in my pocket. I'm just gambling $3,000.
Right.
So I go to the craps. Of course, you never go to the table and go up. You always got to go down.
Yeah, I know what that's
So
all
I got
about.
down
You
to
get
my
stuff.
last $400 or $500, and then caught a hot shooter, and I ran it up, and then I'm cashing out like $21,000.
Wow.
Yeah,
What were your bets on the table that time?
I was on every number. I was on.
How much?
I started with 50 each, 270 across, so
Yeah,
50
yeah.
each. Got a quarter on all the hard ways. Plus the pass line and backed that up. So I had 100 on the pass line, 500 in the back, and every time he made a number, I just pressed it up.
That's a hell of a
pressed
roll.
up. He rolled for an hour.
Wow, that's why. Yeah, wow, that's incredible.
I was down to, I couldn't even go 270 across. I was one number short of putting $50. I went in my pocket. I'm like, I got $42. I can't even.
But see, I don't know whether I'm unlucky or what the story is, but like I'll only see a roll like that. I mean, how often do you see a roll like that?
No, not often.
Once a year, maybe?
No, I see him way more than that.
Wow,
Yeah.
I maybe once a year.
Oh wow, where
Yeah.
you gambling at?
Maybe I'm cursed. I don't know.
What's your the best casino that you think in Vegas?
I love the Venetian Palazzo because I've been
do
like
too.
I've done okay there.
Yeah.
I think the Wynn Encore is incredible, but this is the way I look at the Wynn Encore. I look at the Wynn Encore like it's just too good for me. And I go in there and I'm outgunned mentally, socially, socioeconomically.
As soon as you walk in the door.
As soon as I walk in, I'm like,
Yeah.
I really should not be here.
Yeah, it's a different
psychology
whole
The
different
psychology
vibe.
like
The
wipes
psychology
me out.
of it.
Yeah.
So I've dumped about $300,000 there, and I the last time I played there, I played for 15 minutes. I lost $4,000 in 15
It don't take
minutes.
long to win because their limits,
take long.
the win limits are so high.
Yeah.
Right.
You can't just go play a quarter. They might start off at 100. So
100. Where are you going to find 100 there?
that's just a crap table.
Oh,
Like
the crap
100
table. Yeah.
The crap table. So you might, in 5 minutes, you could be down 4,000 or
You
5,000.
got to have real money to play there.
Yeah, for sure.
But see, that's interesting because I haven't heard really anyone talk about the psychology of it. That's
Yeah, I
huge.
just feel outgunned. I feel like, it's like I'm in a place that I really, it's kind of like a strain for me.
It's
You know what I
major
mean?
player. When you go in the win,
Yeah.
and like I'm a craps player, so I go to the craps table, and most of the tables will be reserved.
Right.
So those
right.
are the guys that's $500,000 bankroll. So, and you just sit there and watch those guys, and they just throwing in chips, $1,000 chips, 5,000 like it's nothing.
right.
Yeah,
And the money goes fast at craps if you don't hit
Quick.
it can go really
both
quick.
ways. You can run it up fast, or you can go down fast.
I was in the Wynn one night. I was telling this story the other day on the live, and I don't know. This story just makes me smile. It makes me feel good for some reason. I don't know why. I was at the Wynn, and I had $10,000 on me, and there was a $1,000 minimum game because the blackjack pit there, on the weekends, it's $1,000 minimum.
For sure.
And I went in there, and I got myself 10 chips, And I'm sitting in there, and when I'm playing $1,000 minimum, that's a really material event for me.
People
Because
have have the grasp.
It's a lot.
You had $10,000.
I had 10 $1,000
and they gave you
chips.
10 chips.
Right, 10 chips.
Usually, you got $10,000. You go to a regular casino.
Right.
Your chips is covered
gotta-
the whole
you have a
board.
lot of action.
Right.
So, and I only make, and I tell this to the lot, I only make $6,000 or $7,000 a month. So I'm really a challenged individual. So I'm in there and I'm betting $1,000. And my little girlfriend, Mahi, who I love so much, she comes in and she stands next to the table and she kind of looks at the minimum. She doesn't say a word, but she got this look on her face, kind of like,
You tripping.
You're just the saddest thing. Like almost like an empathetic look. Like, but she didn't say anything. She didn't say, get out of this pit.
Right.
Or what are you doing? She just looked at me with the saddest eyes I've ever seen. And that was it. You know, I played one more hand and I actually broke dead even. And I said, I cannot do this. I couldn't do it to her.
Right. Not in front of her.
Yeah, not like
Maybe come back later.
Yeah.
Maybe come back later and try it.
Well, she seen me lose 80 grand over there when I was making money, and it was not, you know, it was not a good. I mean, the first 4 years we were together, all I did was lose.
Yeah.
Since I became Vegas Pauly C, for some reason, my luck has been way better. I don't know why.
I like that, man.
Maybe it's going to change. I don't know.
So how long have you been Vegas Pauly C?
So I started it on February 1st of 2022. I started going out and walking.
You just started.
Right.
You doing great.
Yeah.
Thank you. And then on April 4th, I had to go back and look because everybody asked me to do it, and I'm a curious person, and I always want dates and times and numbers. It's just my thing. So I was ending my videos, and video would end, and I go, okay, that's a video, you know? And I felt a little uncomfortable. So I started saying at the end of my videos, Vegas Pauly C, and I said it kind of normal. This was on April 4th because I went back to see which video was the first one that I finished. And then after I was doing it a little while, you know, and I was getting a little more, I started feeling myself, you know, and then it became Vegas Pauly C.
Yeah.
And that is when my numbers went.
You may gotta
And
trademark
now
that,
people
man.
want me
You
to
gotta
say it
trademark
to them
that.
all the time.
Yeah.
You know, so I kind of found my hook. I don't know if I could turn it into anything.
No, it's definitely.
But-
I knew who you were.
Right.
Leteshia knew who you was. X was with us. He knew who you was. So you doing pretty good.
Yeah, we'll see if I can get something out of it. I don't know. Right now, I'm making like $6-7 grand a month, and it's like I'm walking around, probably spending that in cabs and whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
But maybe there's a payoff somewhere. I'm sticking with it.
No,
you know? I enjoy it so
that's
much.
the best. Yeah, so it's not like work.
It's not like work.
So, the worst casino in Vegas.
Oh
what do
my
you
God!
think?
You know, I could talk to you for hours about stuff like this because I am really deep into the
Yeah, you deep.
operations of every place.
You definitely deep.
Ooh. So for me, and I make all kinds of enemies with this kind of talk that I do, but I just can't help myself. So for me, it's probably the Golden Nugget downtown, and I'm going to tell you why. Because the guy's worth $6 or $7 billion, Tillman Fertitta. I'm calling him out. I'm calling out Tillman Fertitta. I hope he doesn't put a hit out on me. You know, he's worth $6 or $7 billion. He's in his late 60s. And he's putting games on the floor. He puts a blackjack game on the floor that has an 8% house edge.
Wow.
It's like, you know, and it's like a carnival game where, and the reason why it has such a big house edge, people don't realize it. You put $5 up, okay, that's the minimum. But you're forced to take a $2 bet and put it into their progressive. And the edge on their progressive is something like 40%. So now on the $2, you're giving away 80 cents. So on the whole $7 bet, anyway, it works out to about 8%. I'm not getting my numbers right. And my attitude is, and I'm being really sincere with you.
All right.
My attitude is you're worth $7 billion and you have to put a game like this on the floor to rip off the tourists.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Like the greed of this guy. And now you kind of know why he's worth $7 billion. And, you know, he also has 000 roulette. And if you go and you stay
000 roulette?
he has 3 zeros.
Oh, I never.
Yeah.
I've
I
never
run
seen
from
that.
those tables.
That's they're putting another zero.
You
on
seen
the
that
roll.
before?
Yeah.
Only downtown. I think it might have been the Golden Nugget.
It's the Golden
Yeah,
Nugget.
I've never been-
So
I've
now
never
they're
seen it.
adding this third zero into the real, and I'll talk about other casinos with that and the percentages with that. And the other thing is he doesn't put any money into the rooms. Like his rooms are all old. So I talk to other casino executives, no names, and I say, what's going on with the Golden Nugget? And this is what someone said to me who's very high up. They said, yeah, Tillman, he makes all the money, but he won't spend any of it.
Right.
So immediately he goes like in my boxes, like the Golden Nugget, you know, like. So if that's going on, if they have 3 zeros on the roulette wheel, follow me here, and if they're ripping you off on the blackjack, what are they doing to you on the slot machines?
Right.
Yeah.
And that leads me into a whole nother conversation. And a lot of people don't know this. In England, and I think Australia, but I know England because I did the research, they have to tell you what the payback is on the slot machine. So when you sit down at a slot machine in England, it'll tell you this pays back 94%, this pays back 96%. This. In the United States, it's a black box.
Yeah.
Now, you're an investment counselor, right?
Yep.
Can you imagine you're in the investment business? Give me your money
Right.
You have no idea what you're going to get back.
Right.
That would
How
never
much
fly.
counseling would you do, sir?
That would never fly.
I want you to put up a flag that
Yeah,
says that.
exactly, right?
Cigarettes, how much tar? How much nicotine?
Right.
Alcohol, how much alcohol is in this?
So he's
How are they
he's
getting away with this?
So
with the slot
he's a slumlord. He's a slumlord of Vegas.
Well, I don't want to go that far. I got enough enemies. But you ask me the one, and then there's some fabulous properties. Michael Gaughan at the South Point. He runs a great property down there. He's got 3-2 on blackjack.
Yeah.
He's giving people a good. And when you go in there, it's mobbed. Now, Michael Gaughan is a son of Jackie Gaughan, who had the El Cortez, which was an amazing property. And they are from, and I told you I could talk about this for hours,
Yeah.
so stop me, please.
No, we here.
This is good.
They're from the Benny Binion School of Gambling. So Benny Binion came to Las Vegas in the 50s, and Benny Binion was the type of guy who would take a roll of quarters. Now, a roll of quarters in the 50s, that was like a $20 bill now. You know what I mean? No, I'm sorry. That was like a $100 bill now. Because a roll of quarters is $10.
$10, yeah.
So that's $100 now. That's like a $100 bill. And he would go around and he would give out a roll of quarters to the people on the floor that were playing the slot machines. And the other casino owners would say to him, Benny, you can't give these gamblers a roll of quarters. And Benny would say, I'm just giving them a little more time.
Right.
You see, that's the kind of attitude. That's the Benny Binion School of Gambling. Yeah. People who have that, people who are giving a great gamble, people who are giving you a great value. I believe Derek Stevens is from that school. I do believe that. You go down there, he pays 3-2 on blackjack. As soon as I see Jonathan Jostle at the Plaza, 3-2 on blackjack, 0 roulette for $15. I'm telling you straight out that I'm a big friend of the Plaza. They're not paying me. Nobody's paying me. Why am I a friend of the Plaza? 10 times odds on craps, 0 roulette, $15.
Right. Yeah, that's true.
And 3-2 on blackjack. As soon as I go in a casino and I see 6-5 on blackjack, it's kind of depressing for me. Yeah. And I love the Venetian and the Wynn, but they're putting that game out on their floor, and that's why I can't give either one of them an A. And another interesting conversation, and I got to make a video about this because now I'm bringing it up. How much money do you think the Venetian Palazzo wins every year because they pay 6-5 on blackjack? I'm going to tell you, $31 million that's worth to them. They are never giving up that $31 million.
No, of
the
course
3-2 blackjack is not coming back. And you ask yourself, well, I'm playing blackjack. I'm having blackjack. I'm on vacation. 6-5 blackjack. Who cares? Whatever.
Well, most people don't know the difference.
It's $40 an hour on a $25 game because it's 1.4%. Let me run the math in my head because it's $25. You play 60 hands. It's $1,500. 1.4%. Okay, it's not. It's $15 and it's about $20 on a $25 game. But if you're playing $50 hand, which you very easily could be, it's $40 an hour. Now you come out here and you play blackjack for 7 or 8 or 9 hours. You're going home with $400 or $500 less.
Wow.
It's a huge difference.
That's huge.
So like I said, I could talk about the casino business. Now you know this. You're in sports gambling. Mm-hmm. So, and I don't know anything about sports gambling, but I heard this. Now you're going to tell me something.
Okay.
Is it true that you can go into the circuit and bet whatever you want and they're not going to get on your tuchus? They're going to let you do whatever you want over there?
The reason I like Circa is because...
Oh, you do like Circa, okay.
The reason I like Circa is most casinos build their casinos around the tables.
Right. He builds it around that.
He builds around sports bettors. So he caters... He's the only casino that caters towards sports betting.
That's why I segued into that because you're a sports gambler. So then you're getting to that.
You can bet whatever you want at Circa. I like Stadium Swim also. Right. That's another little caveat.
So you can go in there and if you want to put $100,000 on a game, they'll let you get away with that.
Yeah, easily.
Easily.
Yeah, easily.
What will they let you get away with? I'm just curious.
I mean, I've never bet more than $150,000.
Wow.
So I don't know. Maybe
these are Floyd Mayweather numbers. You ever see Floyd anywhere?
Yeah, I know Floyd personally.
You do know him personally?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a big fan.
Yeah. Shout out to
Sometimes
Floyd.
I talk about him.
I got to get Floyd on the show.
All work is easy work.
Easy work.
All work is easy work.
So let me ask you about you play craps.
Yes. But I shouldn't, but I do.
Do you like crapless craps?
I know that it's 5.5% for the house, but it's just so damn entertaining.
I love it.
It's so damn entertaining that I just,
craps.
I go over there and crapless crap. Everybody always says to me, "Oh, they're tired of my nonsense." Vegas Pauly C, when are you going to stop beating up on Resorts World? I tell it like it is. And Resorts World has a great crapless craps game. I'm going to tell you why. When I bet crapless craps and the 2 or the 12 comes up, and I'm at the Venetian. I don't know about the Wynn. Do they have crapless craps at the Wynn?
Yeah,
They do.
Yeah.
When the 2 or the 12 comes up, you can only put 1 unit. So you're betting 1 unit, and for odds, you can only take 1 unit, right? Mm-hmm. At Resorts World, shout out to Resorts World. See this? Positivity towards Resorts World.
change.
You can put up 3. And it's super cool if you put up the 1 unit. The 2 is the point,
Right.
and you have triple odds.
Triple odds, yeah.
Because now you're getting back, what are you getting back? 18 on the triple?
18, yeah. 6-1 on the single, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot of
So
money,
that's
So
why I
now
like
you see
crapless
that
craps.
you see that 2 or that 12,
Yeah.
and
That's
you're
money.
like, whoa! Plus, those are fun numbers to look at anyway on
Right.
the table.
If
know?
you make two or three, 2 or 12s, then you
Yeah.
made all your money back,
Right,
and
right,
now
right.
everything else is a free roll.
So where do you play crapless scraps?
I play at the Palazzo.
But did you know that Resorts World lets you put triple?
No, and
Yeah,
I
see-
did. I played at the. I didn't know that, but I played at the Resorts World too.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's so much more fun.
Yeah.
And when I'm at the Palazzo, I say to them, "Why don't you guys have the same rules as Resorts World over here?"
So do they let you in the Resorts World? Or you?
Yeah.
How does that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I can't.
I saw you made a video one day. You was
I
like you had to
can't-
run out of there one
Good
day. Or
question.
I
something.
have to run out. Yeah. Like they don't want
He said I
me.
have to run out.
They don't want me. They don't want me filming in there at all.
Oh, okay.
So I made a real sneaky, quick video this morning of their Christmas tree display because I'm feeling a little snarky
I
after
seen
having my
it.
coffee in the morning.
I see that.
And it cuts right over to the Wynn display, and then everybody says, "Oh," with that. But the bottom line is like, that's your Christmas display. Like I could give it. I could honestly take a 10-year-old kid
Yeah.
to Walmart, give them that thing probably cost them $1,000. I could take a 10-year-old kid to Walmart, give them $1,000, right? Any 10-year-old in the country, and say, "I want you to make Daddy proud and make a nice Christmas display." And they're gonna blow away what the hell they did over there at Resorts World. I mean, look at what is that? It's the driest, plainest. Like, who did they commission to do that? I almost feel like they're trying to lose over there.
Yeah.
Did you see that Christmas? Did you see that Christmas? I don't know if you saw my
No,
video.
no, I saw the video. I saw it.
You saw it.
I saw it,
Was
yeah.
that the driest
It
thing
was.
you ever had?
Yeah.
It was.
If that was chicken, you wouldn't be able to choke that down. It was
I
so
agree.
dry.
But you know who? You know I'm
Right?
can't-
Am I right?
I can't go anymore. You know,
can't go.
I'm banned from the ARIA. You know, I'm 86.
Right, from the
MGM.
ARIA, you're 86.
But they have some of the best. Like they really like Halloween,
Yeah, yeah,
Christmas. You know, even Asian New Year's,
Right.
Chinese New Year's. Yeah, they go all out.
Well, I give MGM, and people say I'm too generous, but I give MGM a B+. Because first of all, I like the CEO. I think Bill Hornbuckle is a super cool guy. I've seen him interviewed. He's kind of chilling, whatever.
Bill
but I think they're
Hornbuckle need to let me back. He need to let me back in the building.
Yeah.
He won't let you back in, or he will.
He needs to. Somebody
needs
need
to.
Somebody need to make a
Yeah.
call.
Bill
to-
Hornbuckle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This guy's going to bring you all kinds of business. He's got,
I've been
he's
doing
got
it for
so many
10 years.
followers.
I don't know why all of a sudden.
I mean, we got to start. This is another stupid thing that I'm about to say, but it's not stupid. These are thoughts that come to my head. I really feel like the large properties, anybody that has over 2,000 rooms, this is going to sound so hokey to everybody, but I don't care because I think about this stuff. They should have what is called an ombudsman. This is a person who looks at a situation where, like, you feel you were wrongly 86,
Right.
or like someone feels like they were treated badly for some stupid reason, or like, just someone who you can go to and say, hey, like, and I was talking about this on the live the other day. No names, no properties. I want to keep this really,
we'll
down
keep it
low.
chill.
But you get these dealers in the casino, and I don't know if you've ever experienced this. I don't know, maybe this is because, I don't know. I don't know what the reason is. You get these dealers in the casino, you can feel them hating you as
man.
you're playing.
Oh,
Especially if you
they
winning. Especially if you
loathe
winning.
you.
Yeah.
And I want to say to the
Oh,
dealer,
man, you preaching.
are you having a bad
Preach.
day? Why
Right.
are you hating on me?
Preach.
And there was a woman, no names and no casinos. There was a woman. She was so full of hate and meanness that I said to myself, I'm going to play with her a little bit just to see what I get.
Was
I
she
give her a
Asian?
$25 chip. I give her a green chip. This was what she said. Huh? She actually, not thank you.
Wow.
Watch this. Huh? I said, you know what? I'm going to see if $50 gets the same reaction. I gave her 2 green. I didn't go higher than that because I don't waste too much money on my experiments. I only have my budget for experimentation is only so big. I win a big hand. I give her $50. Like, whoa. Like, I think casinos need to address this because if you were working customer service,
That's right.
in a restaurant, in a hotel,
Preach.
in a clothing store, anywhere, even if you're the train conductor on the Long Island Railroad, you cannot act like that. So you've experienced that too?
All the time.
And let me ask you a question. Do you say, is it something about me? Because I say, is it something about me?
I say the same thing. You know, I'd be like, is it because I'm black?
Right.
Yep.
I
Is this,
understand
is
that.
this, is this is the
And
re-
I say,
That's
is
how
it
I
because
feel.
I
That's the
look
reason.
like I'm from outer space?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, same thing. Like
I
if
know.
you're in customer service and you're a dealer, you get paid off tips. Even some
Right.
waitresses will walk right by you and won't even, you know.
Now look at the amount of unintentional, inadvertent racism that's causing.
Yeah.
Because you're thinking that maybe it's because you're black, right?
For sure.
But I'm glad.
100%.
I'm glad I'm here to tell you, it's because they're a-holes, man.
But
You know what I
think
mean?
of
It's
all the
like-
money they're losing. Because, you know, having that good customer service. We've seen numerous times. We've been in different stores, and it's like we ask for certain things.
Right,
And either that person either just, you know, is too caught up in their own emotions or what they have going on, but they're causing the owner to lose money.
I understand everybody, you know, you're a person, you might have a bad day or something
Right,
going on
right,
in your
right,
life.
right.
I get that, but if you're in customer service, you got to suck that up. And if you're getting paid off tips, then you got to suck that up.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm telling you that this woman dealer that I know. Now, I haven't seen her in the last month or two, so maybe she got fired. She never broke character for the nastiest woman in America. She never broke character.
You got to tell me off air.
I'm going to tell you her name, and I'm going to tell you what casino she works at, but I don't know if she's there anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, you think it's about you. You think it's about, wow, I'm an awkward guy. But it's not. It's just, so what? So again, going back to the ombudsman, going back to casino management, and this I don't understand. So the other day, and again, no names, no casinos. I take out my phone. My phone is right here. I take it out. I win I actually won $3,500. I take my phone out. It's under the table. The dealer says to the pit boss, he better not put me on TikTok like that. And I'm like,
he was.
whoa.
Oh, he had hate for you.
He had hate. It's the first time I ran into anybody who knew who I was. I'm
Right.
Showed
what
his
did you
hand.
say? I said, what did you say? I said, I'm a player here. I said, I tip you green.
Right.
I said, I'm not annoying you. I'm not taking your picture. Why did you feel the need to put that hate towards me? Now, it's early in the morning, and I'm feeling a little bit, you know, I guess I would call it Italian, you know, because I'm half Italian, and I got the ego thing going on a little. My ego sits over here. I'm like, shut up, you know. I go over to the casino manager. I'm like, the guy is, okay, I trumped up the charges a little bit. This is the way I said it because I was being a jerk.
Yeah.
I said, the guy's disparaging my career. I didn't do anything to him. Why is he disparaging my career? Now, the casino manager doesn't want to see me, doesn't want to hear me. There's no place to go with this. And that's why I get back to the ombudsman thing.
That's true.
If you go into wherever, and you're a big player, you're a big gambler, you're betting all kinds of money. If they don't treat you right, if a dealer doesn't treat you right, especially the kind of money you're playing with 10 times what I play with, shouldn't you have a place to go?
Yeah, there's nowhere to go. Like I'm 86 now.
There's no place
They
to
say
go.
it's corporate compliance, but there's no one person I can talk to.
Right.
I don't know anybody I can go. You know, it's just out there.
I got a lot to say
And I
about
want to
this.
know who made this decision.
Right. And you don't even know.
I don't even know.
Right. Well, you know, in the real world, if somebody makes a decision against you, you usually get a letter.
Right.
And it tells you who made the decision.
I got a letter and it said compliance, no number, no person, so I have nobody to contact.
You're probably just moving too much money in and out.
Yeah.
I guess too much cash.
Just when I think that,
Yeah.
I meet a guy who's doing 10 times what I'm doing.
Yeah. Wow.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm really a small fish when I go into like the Wynn, stuff like that. I don't even fit in the table. I feel like you when I walk in the Wynn. I'm like,
So someone needs to talk to someone from MGM needs to talk to you
somebody
and
needs to talk to me.
tell you what's going on.
somebody need to reach out.
Somebody reach out and then say, well, you can straighten it out if you do this. You straighten. I mean, obviously you bought this house, so there's compliance going on somewhere. You know
Right.
you know what I mean?
I think that when you losing, it's all good.
Yeah.
When you start winning, they don't,
Yeah,
I used to be, hey, Mr. White. And I started winning. It was like, hey, Mr. White.
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. That's the other thing that blows my mind. And it's not all casino bosses, but I'm sure you know this too. Like, why do they take it personally? Like it's like some casino
Like it's their
properties-
money.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I
Some
will tell
dealers.
you I will tell you point blank with all the authority in the world, because there's some things I'm positive about in life. I will tell you the place in the United States that has the tightest, meanest, most scared casinos, where the people that work there, if $1,000 goes out the door, they practically shake. And that is Atlantic City, New Jersey.
I knew you
Oh,
were going to say
I've
New
been
Jersey.
there.
I knew you were going to say New
my
Jersey.
God.
Yeah, I
knew you
gambled
was
there
When
once.
they lose $1,000 in Atlantic City, New Jersey, you would have thought that you did something terrible to their mother.
Yeah.
You're talking to my mother like that? That's what it's like. It's like they're so miserable.
Maybe because it's so cold up there. You think that's what it is?
I don't know. You know,
I
I
think it's the weather.
had a pit boss at Resorts World because I play there. And I said to her, what's going on in New Jersey? And she said, yeah, everybody is just totally miserable. You know, it's just the most miserable place
It's the
to
weather.
play. It's the weather,
Mob ties.
It's freezing up there. I
Yeah.
went to I gambled at the Bow Revival. What is it up there? The Boga?
No, it's I'm forgetting it too.
It's an MGM property.
Well, it's
though.
the Water Club and Borgata.
Borgata.
Borgata,
Yeah, I gambled at the Borgata.
Yeah.
I think I lost money there too. Yeah.
Well, you saw the story with Phil Ivey, right, in the Borgata?
Yeah.
Where he was edge sorting with the Asian woman.
the
who doesn't
Asian woman,
speak-
yeah.
And they were
I saw
talking
that.
to the dealer. And
Yeah.
you never had Phil Ivey on here, did you?
No.
Wow.
I met Phil once.
He's quite the guy.
We shot dice together at the Plaza years ago.
He loves to gamble.
Yeah.
And he will he will gamble the real, he'll play dice.
No, he go heavy. Yeah.
Yeah.
He table max off top. 5,000. He table max off top.
Oh, I don't know how I tell you, he has that sense. He just knows what cards you have.
Yeah.
And it's pretty impressive.
I never met Phil though. Besides the time we gambled, but that was it.
Yeah.
It'd be good to have him on though, for sure.
Is he around Vegas?
Probably so.
I don't really hear too much about him anymore. Ever since they took away the money from, it was
kinda low-key.
Crockford's. It was Crockford's in England,
Yeah.
and then he settled with the Borgata.
Well, it was a $20 million lawsuit.
$20
altogether.
million, yeah. But the Borgata actually paid him, but it's not disclosed. In my mind, and I'm talking out of my tuchus, I think he probably got $5 million of it from the Borgata.
What about
They
the
said.
place in England or London?
They took the whole thing back.
Oh, they did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It went to the courts there, and they wouldn't give him any of the money.
Wow.
But what, for people that don't know the story, so the cards are cut. I wish we had a card here.
Oh,
playing
yeah,
card.
right.
The cards are cut on the back. There was one brand of playing cards where the half moons that were on the back, the little ziggly thing, they were just a little bit different on the 7s, 8s, and 9s. And if you know when the 7s, 8s, and 9s are going to come out, and you can have it's a 6%, that's the number. You can have a 6% edge. So Phil said that when he sat down in England, he was losing originally, even though he had a 6% edge, he was losing originally. And his argument is look, even with a 6% edge, I could have lost.
Right.
Plus you agreed to all of the
agreed
rules.
to all. They agreed to the terms
and
before he got there.
and they still took
Right.
the money away from him.
Yeah.
So, but when you think about the fact that he was with a woman, she's called the Queen of Sorts because it's called edge sorting in Baccarat.
Mm-hmm.
He was with a woman who could actually, human beings are just endlessly creative and talented. You see somebody playing the guitar or whatever, and you're like, oh my God. Look. But she could see the edge in the shoe of those little half moons, and she knew whether it was a 7 or 8 or a 9 coming out.
Wow.
Isn't that unbelievable?
Yeah.
Sometimes I think that. Do these people sit for like years trying to figure out how they're going to beat the casino? Like, how do you even come out with stuff like
But
this?
he told him he would come gamble with him. He recommended
Right.
those specific cards.
That's right.
And he let him know he was going to bring her.
That's right.
They agreed to all his terms, and then when he got there and won, they didn't want to pay him out.
And a Mandarin dealer who spoke
Right, and
Mandarin,
a Mandarin
Chinese
dealer,
so
exactly.
that she could
Yep.
speak to the
Right.
Queen of Swords.
Right.
Yeah, that's good, Phil. Oh, yeah, Phil, you can have anything you want. Don't worry, Phil. You won $10 million? Oh, yeah, Phil? F you, Phil. You're not getting your money. Get out of here, Phil.
That's
Pauly's
crazy.
Right? Is that?
Pauly's hilarious.
Are we in America?
Right?
Or are we in Brooklyn? It's 1930. You know what I'm saying? Are we playing
Going
with
by
the
the mob.
mafia?
Right.
Mob
Or are
ties.
we playing with corporations that
for
are
sure.
responsible? Like, what judge? I really want to know. I'm putting this out into the world. What judge saw all of those facts and didn't give Phil his money? And I'm not going to talk about England because God only knows what's going on over there. I'm talking about the United States. I want that judge. I want you to bring that judge. Judge, what part of that is why Phil didn't get his money? And Phil tells the story.
Yeah.
Drives me crazy. I'm glad you brought that up. It drives me crazy.
What do you think about the Durango? Have you been there?
The Durango. So, they have this saying, and I'm going to own this. They have a saying that if you have a problem with everybody, you're the problem.
Yeah.
So, I'm starting to maybe accumulate too many problems where I got to start thinking about, what's wrong with Vegas Pauly C. It's like, but that being said, I went to the Durango. I snuck in there on Saturday night. Now, I didn't sneak in. Someone was at the restaurant, a guy that I helped with his restaurant. he said, Vegas Pauly C, I'm over at the Durango. If you want to come down, I'm in the restaurant. If you want to make a video of the casino, go ahead. Oh, I say to Jose, the taco guy, we're sort of partners in this truck. I say, Jose, let's get down to the Durango. I'm gonna get a video of the casino. I'm gonna beat everybody, right? It's a scoop for me. So I go running down to the Durango with Jose, the taco guy. He goes in, I go in. The guy's in the restaurant. There's no security. There's no sign that says doesn't film. There's no sign. There's nobody there, and I'm just like, I'm walking around the casino like, this is the Durango Casino. Look how beautiful it is. I think it's absolutely splendid. Blah 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 blah. Because it's very pretty. I have to go home because I'm 60 years old and I've wiped myself out and I need a Napiola. And I go home. It's Saturday night. It's 8 o'clock, and I get in bed and I'm like, I'm really happy with myself because I got this Durango scoop and I'm feeling really good about Vegas Pauly C. And I go to bed and I wake up and I look and it has 200,000 views. And I say, wow, I'm going to make, what am I going to make? I'm going to make at least $70. I'm probably going to make $200 from this video. I'm glad I ran over there with Jose, the taco guy, right? And I go in my direct messages from Instagram and it says, take the video down of our casino.
Wow.
From the Durango. Now, this leads into a whole nother conversation. It's Saturday night. You're opening on Tuesday. Look, I mean, it's 200,000 views. I'm giving a positive review. I want to know where in corporate America does that make? I want to know how that makes sense.
Okay, well, why did
someone make that make sense to me? You have no permission to film in our casino.
Yeah, you're not an employee. You're not. Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Make it make sense, Durango.
So when we went to the grand opening, it was all kind of influences in their head.
Yeah, but I jumped
cameras.
it by 2 days.
So that was the reason they felt like it was too early?
Do you know I don't ask them the reason? So this is the way I am mentally. When I see something that is so stupid, goodbye.
Yeah.
Like I'm never going to, and it's a corporation. Wow. So you have a double whammy there. It's the stupidest thing that you've ever seen, and it's a corporation. Now, when you deal with a corporation, there's no love. You know what I mean? It's like they have their rules, and you're never gonna break through the barrier. Like what you're dealing with the MGM. You know you're never gonna win at the MGM. You know that you're out and you're accepting it. You're going elsewhere. So it's the double whammy of it's a corporation and it's the stupidest thing in the world. So then Tuesday comes, and everybody says to me, Vegas Pauly C, how come you're not at the Durango? How come you didn't do the Durango? And I tell them, and I really mean this.
Did you take the video down?
I did take it down.
Okay.
I mean this. I went into the Durango. I was all excited. It's something new for me. I have this medical condition. I need dopamine. I got a hot dose of the medicine that I needed from the Durango that night. And I put up my video, and I feel great. If I go back there on Tuesday and take the same pill that I took on Saturday night, no.
It's not going to be the same.
Yeah.
I got nothing. And I can't make a video and go, this is a Durango. I was here on Saturday night, but they made me take the video down, and now I'm a miserable human being, but it's really not that bad. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't do that. So I can't fake it. So no video from me of the Durango.
Yeah.
So Fountain Blue, are you going?
I can't go to the Fontainebleau.
Oh, man.
That's a whole nother story. That's on my page also. Again.
Already, policy, they haven't even opened yet, and you can't go?
I put up a video of the casino a month ago. And they came after the guy that gave me the video, and it became a whole thing.
How did they know who it was?
They went back to security, and they looked at it.
Oh,
damn.
Right.
And they busted him, and he got very upset, and I had to give him $1,900, which is the material number to me, and he changed jobs, and there was a whole thing with him. Did he quit? Did he get fired? The whole thing is on my YouTube if you want to see the explanation. And then it got toxic, and then it turned into a nightmare. And again, Look, you have to understand my brain chemistry, and I think maybe you can. When something gets toxic, you know what I mean? How do you enjoy it? Let's just say you went to a party, and it was the greatest party in the world, but three-quarters of the way through the night, everyone started being mean to you.
Yeah.
And do you really want to be at that party?
Not at all.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, but again, it goes back to if you're having a problem with everybody, you're the problem. So I learned something. I want everybody to know I learned something. No more videos that are not after an opening. Because my two biggest problems are I jumped
the gun.
and somebody said in my when I put up a video and the comments come in and they're like painful or negative, I leave them up there. Yeah. Unless they're attacking little Mahi, then I got to take them down. I mean, you guys understand, right?
Protect your girl. That's right.
I got to protect my girl. So someone in there said, maybe you learned your lesson. And when you break the rules, you're going to have to pay. And I looked at it and I said, "You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I
That's
broke
fair.
the rules. I broke the rules at the Fontainebleau. Now I'm not going to their party. And I broke the rules at the Durango. So that's twice I did it. And now I learned my lesson. Do not send me any videos, please. I don't want them. I don't want to be tempted because I can't control my fingers sometimes.
See, that's the good thing about you, man. Like, 'cause you're honest. You know,
Yeah, I have to be.
and taking responsibility, and and actually seeing the lesson in it.
I have to be. I have to be because if I'm not learning, where am I going?
That's right.
You know, you guys are much younger than me, obviously, but you have to just keep learning the rest of your life. You know, I'm learning every day, and that's why I love this whole thing out in Vegas. Like, I'm learning, like, how do I be better at my craft? How do I get more information? How do I get more videos? How do I become more entertaining? How do I become more valuable?
Right.
Because, you know, and again, it goes back to, I'm making $6,000, $7,000 a month, you know, that's not really gonna, it's not getting me over here. I can tell you that. Your electric bill is probably $6,000 in this house. But I'd like to be more successful, and I'd like to be better at what I do, and I want to learn.
You look like you're on the right path to me.
I'm trying. Well, I don't know. You know, I always think of Keith Lee. You know, he woke up and all of a sudden he did a couple of smart things, and he had 10 million followers.
I don't know. I know you, but I don't know Keith Lee.
He's from Atlanta.
Yeah.
He's the one who
He's
does
from
all
Atlanta.
the
He was an
restaurants.
MMA fighter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
him.
But let me,
Huge.
I watch Keith and I say to myself, you know, why is Keith so successful? And I really came to this conclusion because I think about it. Did you guys see Keith Lee Goes to Atlanta?
No, I haven't seen it.
Did you see that? Yeah. Okay.
That's the
This
dude
is
y'all
why
was telling me
Keith Lee
about.
is so successful.
Went to the restaurant, the food. Okay, yeah.
And I can't be like Keith Lee, okay? This is why Keith Lee is so successful. He goes to Atlanta. He runs into problem, disrespect, problem, disrespect. Am I talking out of turn? No.
You're right.
Did he ever get mean? Did he ever get angry? Did he ever break character? And that is why Keith Lee is who he is. Me,
Absolutely.
and not so much.
I'm the same way.
If
Yeah,
I went
same.
to Atlanta,
I can't.
if I went to Atlanta and they treated me the way they treated Keith Lee, I'd be like, "This is the way you run your restaurants?
Right.
There's no waiting room.
No,
I
that's
have to
me.
go sit in the parking lot. I have to. I would make a stink. You know, I don't know whether it's because I'm Italian. I don't know, but you too, right? Would you make a stink if they disrespected you in
For
Atlanta?
sure. 100%.
Would you ladies make a stink? Somebody Keith Lee didn't, and that's why he's
He's a professional.
Yeah.
and
Or he's
and
really
this
happy,
is the other thing
you
I
know?
think about Keith Lee. So how can he do that? I think to myself, how does Keith Lee stay like that? And then I think to myself, he's an MMA fighter. He's been training. He's been training for years.
Right.
The guy literally gets punched in the face. He's getting kicked in the groin, right? So he's been in the military more or less.
Yeah.
And that's why he's
Has the discipline.
got it. You know, that's why he's got it like that.
Wow.
How is it for you though? Because I'm sure like you get lots of videos from everybody. You know, you get in the news first.
Well, here's the problem. So I get all sorts of stuff from casino executives. Now, this is what I've learned over the last month. The first 3 or 4 months, and this I'm naive. I'm a child, really. I'm getting all this stuff from casino executives, right? Are they casino executives? Are they really who they say they are?
Right.
Is the story really true?
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm telling you, the first 3 months, I was like, oh, this is great. But last week, 2 weeks ago, I get this DM on Instagram, and the woman says, I work for the Fontainebleau. I want you to come on down. We really like what you do over there. And I have this conversation with her. And the conversation goes, it's all positivity and love, right? And then it starts to feel a little murky. And then it starts to feel a little ugly. And it ended with, I'm going to ruin your career.
Whoa.
You are really a piece of garbage. I'm going to ruin your career. But I took some of the texting stuff and I sent it to someone at the Fontainebleau who I know works there, a woman named Amy. And Amy sent me right back. Amy's like, that woman doesn't work here.
Right.
But I am so naive that I read it, and this goes back to the low dopamine. I read it. My name is so-and-so. I work at the Fontainebleau. It had a 7. Do you know what you want to hear what a moron I am? Here. I see a 702 number, and I'm like, oh, she works at the Fontainebleau. That's a Las Vegas number.
Right.
I'm an idiot. But it ended with, I'm gonna ruin you. So it's like, so now I gotta,
Yeah,
you know,
gotta be
anyone
careful.
will tell you this. I gotta be more careful.
You have to be careful.
I gotta be more careful because I'm getting messed with people messing with me a little bit, and I don't understand it. It's like, this is what I want to say to people. I'm making $6,000 or $7,000 a month. can you at least wait until I'm making like 30 or 40?
Right?
And I got myself like a Tesla or something, you know what I mean? Let me
Right,
make it.
yeah, for sure.
Let me grow into something before you have to
Right,
just murder
yeah.
me into the ground.
They trying to get you before you blow.
Yeah, man.
I'm not even like, I'm like nobody. You know, can I please get there a little bit? I'll take the hate.
Yeah.
You give me the money, I'll take the hate.
But they probably see the potential. They know you're on your way. That's what.
Geez, I hope
That's what it
so.
is. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I believe that. I believe that for sure.
We'll see.
Allegiant Stadium. What do you think about it?
Oh my God. I love it. I
Me
love
too.
it.
Yeah,
You know, another funny story. So
it's one of the best stadiums I've been to.
I go to Beyonce, right? This is funny, and this is what I love about the chat.
So
So I go and I get myself a ticket to Beyonce, right? And I go and I think they call them Fat Tuesdays. They're the big drink, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I go and I get like a 32-ounce Fat Tuesday over at Caesars, and I say to myself, I'm gonna walk from Caesars outside, and I'm gonna walk to Allegiant Stadium with the Fat Tuesday, right? By the time I got to Allegiant Stadium,
That's a
I
long
was
walk.
to see Beyonce. And I get in there, and everybody is dressed like unbelievably, and I'm just like, oh, this is great. And I'm on the live. I had 2,000 people watching me on the live because everybody wants to see the way everybody's dressed for Beyonce,
Right,
plus
right.
it's Beyonce. And I'm so drunk. I'm so gone. And I make it through like 5 or 6 songs, and I'm harassing the girl next to me because I'm trying to hold up the live. And meanwhile, she's like a younger girl, and she's got this old man's armpit in her face. You know what I mean? And I could see the misery. She's like, someone get this old man's armpit away from me. So I left. So I'm in the chat the other day, and I have to go to Allegiant Stadium, so I'm telling this story. And I go, I've never been to Allegiant Stadium before. This is the most exciting thing ever. And the people in the chat are like, Vegas Pauly C, you idiot. You were at Allegiant Stadium for Beyonce. And I'm like, oh, yeah, I was. I did go that night.
You was that drunk.
But I had that drink that I didn't really know that I had really, you know what I mean?
Hey, I'm gonna party with you, man. I'm partying with Pauly.
But what I want to tell you about this, and this goes back to this goes back to the no lying. Okay. So when you're doing a live show, and I always have, hundreds of people in there. Sometimes it could be as many as 1,000. When you're doing a live show and you're telling your truth, and you're telling your stories, and you're telling this happened, and I talk fast because I'm a lunatic. I drink coffee, and you can see that I'm insane. When you're doing that, everyone in there has already heard these stories. You know the way an old man keeps telling the same story over and over. So everybody's heard these stories once, twice, 3 times. If I start to lie, like you see the Allegiant Stadium story,
Right.
like I wasn't lying. I actually forgot that I went to Allegiant Stadium. Immediately the chat said, what are you talking about, girlfriend? You were there for Beyonce. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's funny that they keep up with your life.
So the saying on the chat is, yes, they keep up with my life.
Yeah.
So what I say is, the chat knows everything.
Everything. That's
So
true.
since the chat knows everything, I could, even if I wanted to lie,
Yeah.
what am I going to lie about? They want to know, how much money did I lose? How much money? Not this trip, but the trip before this, I lost $44,000, and it really hurt me. I mean, when you're making $6,000, $7,000 a month, you lose $44,000. That money's got to come from somewhere.
Yeah, that'll hurt.
And it really hurt. Now I can't. Everybody heard that number. Like, what am I gonna? Oh no, I didn't win. I didn't lose. I win. I won the. I put the number out there. I can't.
Yeah, it's there.
Yeah.
It's out there, but not. I have to say one more thing. It's really important, and I know I talk too much, but I'm not honest and transparent because I want to be. I'm not doing it because I'm a good guy. I'm not doing it because I'm moral or ethical. I mean, I'm an addict, I've done some really shitty things. Ask my partner, Bruce. Ask my business partner, Bruce. This guy's still friends with me after 50 years. I don't know how. I've done so many shitty things to him to get my hands on money to gamble. Anne Marie, she's not the worst. My ex-girlfriend, Anne Marie. At one time, I had all her credit cards maxed out. I borrowed $100,000 from her. I only got out of it because I mortgaged a house and was able to pay her back. So I've done all of these crappy things. So it's important that you know that I am not doing it because I'm moral or wonderful. I have no choice. When you have the mutation that I have, I don't have the energy. I don't have the ability. It takes a tremendous amount. And you guys all know this because you're all adults. How much energy does it take to BS? And then to keep up with the story.
A whole lot.
And then It takes a whole lot, right?
Whole lot.
It
As long as
drags you
choose to
down.
be honest. Right.
I need to be at the highest level to be Vegas Pauly C because I got to be up here. If I start to lie, I can't be anywhere near here.
Right.
I got to be.
This is a beautiful place. You should come over here.
Yeah.
So that's important that I tell people that. Because I think when people hear that I'm telling the truth, I think that a lot of people immediately say, this guy's a bullshit artist.
I'm sure you get invited to from the execs of these casinos. You get invited to a lot of events, or
No, I met, no names. I met somebody who's way up there in the casino, and I spent an hour with him. And I was myself, and I told him how I felt. And he looked like he got hit by a car after I was done. And I think he regretted wasting an hour of his time.
you think so?
Well, we disagree. I said to him, the casino business is a numbers business. He said it's not. We just disagree. Like, to me, and of course, I'm in social media, so I guess I'm biased. But to me, it's like, if I had a hotel on the Las Vegas Strip, right? And midweek, I was at 90% occupancy. Let's talk about Resorts World. So midweek, they're at 90% occupancy, so they're 10% empty. No hate. I'm going to be an adult. So they have 300 empty rooms. And you are running social media for Resorts World, right? And you have 300 empty rooms. Mm-hmm. The cost to turn a room over is $32. That's what it costs. That's what somebody told me in the casino business, just to get the maid in there to turn the room over.
Right.
You have 300 empty rooms. I would be on that phone. I would be in that gram. I would be on that TikTok. I would be on that Facebook. My full-time job would be to fill those 300 rooms with influencers from every size, from 10,000 up to a million.
For sure.
Getting those people in. I would be Instagram central. I would be TikTok. Why? Because I'm an idiot? No. It's costing me $32 for that room. Mm-hmm. And Genevieve, I'm just making up a name, Genevieve from California, who's 29 years old and has a following of 546,000 people, and she lives in LA, right? I'm going to have her and all her friends.
All her friends, right.
I'm going to put them in that room, and how many views am I going to get? 600,000, 700,000, 800,000?
Easy.
I mean, they're taking, to me, it's a wasted asset. I'm not talking about knocking people out on the weekends.
Yeah.
I'm talking about filling up rooms, there's a guy, I always bring up this guy, and I don't have a relationship with him, but I know him. I had one quick conversation with him. There's a guy named Matty Betts, and he's pretty big in the sports community. If you're like the Circa, why wouldn't you have him over at your property? You know what I mean? Like doing his thing.
That's what I say about MGM with Dame. Like,
why wouldn't you have him? Why wouldn't you have Dame?
Him?
Right.
Yeah,
Instead of barring Dame, why not have Dame come to the MGM?
Exactly.
Right.
All the people and all the
Use
money
you as a
that he's going
resource.
to bring.
Like, I don't know how much,
That's
I
true.
don't really know. The reason I didn't bring you up and I brought up Matty Betts is I don't really know how much you want to do social media. Like, to me, like, you're making money. Like, I don't really know whether you want to be out there or not.
Yeah, why not?
That's why when I was in your yard, I'm like, is it okay if I
I
say
want to
your
be
name?
Vegas Pauly C.
Yeah.
Oh, you do? You want to build your
I
presence?
want to be Vegas Pauly C.
But just like you
So
said,
a sports
that's
book,
it.
sports book needs to bring you guys down. You guys should do your show, do your podcast.
Circa.
So you would
know?
be in the gambling space.
Absolutely.
Okay, so why isn't it happening?
You know what? When I was at Green Valley the other day, they allow you now to sit at the tables and you can use your phone.
Oh, you can. Okay.
I never heard that before.
Right. Okay.
So that's one thing. I want to ask you two things before you leave.
Sure. Okay.
What do you think about the Sphere?
I mean, I was blown away by the Sphere. Just blown away.
It's beautiful.
I was on the man behind the man's balcony the first night that it turned on. We were watching the fireworks over Caesars, and the Sphere turned on at 9:00, and we were like, "What's a firework?" Like it was all over. The video's on my page. I got 6.7 million views of the Sphere of the first night. And the Sphere made me in social media. That was my best month. The Sphere made me about $5,000, just from the videos of everything that went on. And then I went there and I went inside the Sphere and I videoed Did you guys go to the YouTube concert?
I've never been inside. No.
Okay. I went to the YouTube concert.
Speaking of
and I
Beyonce,
videoed
she's supposed to be getting a residency there soon.
I mean, how unbelievable is that going to be?
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
If
right.
they do the right visuals behind Beyonce at the Sphere,
Oh, yeah.
well, first of all, what's a ticket going to be? It's got to be $2,000.
It's going to be crazy.
Like I don't even
Beyonce
know if
fans,
you're gonna be
they
able
pay though.
Yeah.
They
They
pay.
gonna sell.
I
That's
mean,
gonna
you
sell
know,
out.
you'll be able to get in
Yeah,
there.
we think Usher sold out. That Beyonce's gonna sell.
Yeah.
Right. That's going to be a really expensive ticket, but I mean, that's going to be like, wow. That's going to be mind blowing.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to have to give her what? I mean, well, I think they get 90% of the sales, the artist. So she's going to make well over $1 million
Easy.
a show.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Easy.
But you know, I watched. Did you guys see the? My girlfriend and I watched it. Did you see the documentary on Beyonce when she
No,
was
I
pregnant
think-
and she was 180 pounds?
I
She
gotta
does
check
the
it out.
work. Homecoming. She does the work.
Oh yeah. I need to watch.
You know,
that.
people, you have to have the talent, but you have to do the work.
She definitely works hard.
You have to
Yeah.
do the work.
Another thing I want to ask you. Super Bowl's coming.
Yeah.
You have anything planned, or what do you think about the Super Bowl coming to Vegas?
Well, you know, Saturday last week, little Mahi says to me, "Why don't you put it out into the universe that you really want to go to the Raider game tomorrow?" And I didn't say anything to anybody. And an hour later, the Wynn contacted me and they gave me 2 tickets, you know, to see the Raiders, which is where I met you.
Right.
And look, it would be if somebody wants to, you know, get me 2 tickets to the Super Bowl. I'm just saying, because there's
Put it out there.
there's no way I'm spending $10,000. I mean, it's $10,000. The get-in price is $10,000.
Yeah. Easy.
The problem is that I'm not really worth $10,000 to anybody. But you know,
And I'm pretty sure somebody, one of those execs will throw you 2
That's
tickets.
right. Hey, I'm telling you, man, such all the knowledge you have, bro. I was just thinking, shit, we need to set you up your own casino.
Yeah,
you got the marketing down.
Knowledge
You got
is
the.
a double-edged sword.
That's true.
You know, these casino executives, they don't want to hear it.
Yeah, they don't want too much.
Like I just did that. I don't know. It's not really a diatribe. I'm not getting. I get angry sometimes, but I just did that thing on social media. You know, so like, why are they not? So the Fontainebleau strategy was dead, quiet. And now tomorrow they're going to shock and awe everybody. That's their strategy, you know?
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think that they should have
Build
build a relationship with the community.
Yeah.
Bring in influencers. Even, you know, I mean, why not virtue signal in this way? Bring in the Boy Scouts. Show the Boy Scouts. Have the Boy Scout troop over. This is the Boy Scouts. This is the Eagle Scouts. These people are tradesmen. Show the kids. You know, I'm aware that I'm virtue signaling right now, and I know that I'm being a Pollyanna, and I know I'm being like semi-weirdo. But why not?
Because that's the psychology.
These
just
guys,
like you said.
why not? You're building a wall. Why not bring in the 8th grade class from wherever? Put little hard hats on them. This is going to be the kind of coots stuff that like everybody's got. Oh, the Fontainebleau, they're such nice people. They brought my son Melvin over there.
Right.
He saw them build a wall. You know, I'm going to gamble at the Fontainebleau instead of the wherever. I think they missed a hell of an opportunity to do outreach to the community.
I wonder, are they going to have the club live like they got in Miami?
Well, it's going to be expensive as could be. You're going to
it's
have
gonna-
to really pay for a bottle over there.
It's going to be crazy. If it's,
Yeah.
I mean, is
I
it
can
worth
imagine.
it? I mean,
Only
do you do that kind of thing?
No.
No, I don't either.
No.
I don't either. I mean, who the hell wants to
Yeah.
take $5,000 and just flush
I'm
it
over
down the
that.
toilet?
Five.
Five.
You're over it.
It's going to be
Way
at least
more.
10. Yeah.
10.
Yeah.
Yeah. they gonna
And you
be
got
at
to
least 10.
tip what, $1,000, $2,000?
Yeah, gratuity is 20%.
Yeah, the party went to a Dre is like 20,000.
Yeah.
At time at the table.
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot of money. I don't know
Yeah.
who's doing it. I
That's
guess
ridiculous.
the ballers are doing it. I don't know
Yeah.
who,
Yeah.
but
So yeah, it was great having you on, Pauly.
thank you so much.
Tell everybody where they can find you.
I'm on TikTok under Vegas Pauly C. I'm on Instagram under Comp Wallet, and I'm on YouTube. I think it's Vegas Pauly C. And YouTube is pretty much where I bleed. You know,
Okay.
like there's bad stuff on YouTube. That's where I'm like, oh, you know, this, that, the other thing. But
I got you.
thank you very much for having me.
You're welcome. This was a great episode.
Did I
of A
talk too
Bettor
much?
Life. No, you did great.
Okay.
You did great. I
Because
learned.
because Mahi
no,
is angry.
no, I learned a
was
lot.
excellent.
I learned a lot.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
yeah.
if I did, but you know, I got to have coffee before I come here, and you know.
We'll give you a double.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, we
Absolutely.
want you back.
Okay, I'll definitely come back.
So
I got
that's
some questions
in
about some
6
comps and some other stuff for you. 'Cause I know that you got it, man. So I definitely got some more conversation
In
for
6
you.
months, you can say, "Oh, you failed," you know, or you know,
No
know,
way.
it's an interesting journey.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
for
all
sure.
positive, optimistic over here, man.
All
We
right,
know it's
okay.
gonna be great.
All right.
No, we really appreciate you
Thank
coming.
you.
You was a great guest.
Thank you.
And that'll conclude A Bettor Life. Dame the Gambling God, Genius
Hey.
the Financial Guru. Y'all know where to find me. All my hashtags, everything. Lock in.
That's it. That's
Thank
a wrap.
you. Okay. Should I do my outro?
Yeah, go. Yeah, we gotta
Oh,
have
yeah.
it. We gotta
Right.
have it.
Vegas Pauly C.
the infamous.
That's awesome.